Hi friends, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will discuss my interview experience of NABARD Grade A Assistant Manager in Computer Science IT. My interview was in Kolkata RO and I was the only person who was called for the interview that day from Kolkata RO. When I reached the RO, I was shocked. It looked like four-star hotel. It was very sophisticated and initially I waited at the meeting room and I was arranging my document for the DB. But suddenly I come to know interview will start soon within 10 to 15 minutes and my document verification will happen later. It is actually very rare that they are letting me to sit for the interview without completing my DB. One officer, I think he is already grade A officer in HR department, was showing me the way for the interview room. He was speaking in Bengali with me and he was saying like clearing NABARD from IT stream must be very difficult and he was trying to motivate me. Then I entered the room from this entrance and I come here and here is the video conference board, the monitor, and the monitor can see up to this much of the room and I will be standing here and I will be asking like may I come in sir or may I come in ma'am, then I will go and sit here. So this was the setup and when I was standing here for 3 to 4 minutes I was answering myself questions like introduce yourself, why NABARD, why do you have gap year, such common questions. But to my utter surprise they didn't ask any of these questions. So I first greet them and then I come here, then madam told me to sit, then I sit. Then madam directly asked me questions on the NGO I worked with and next she asked me about my project that was movie recommendation system and she also asked me that how a recommendation system can be helpful for NABARD. Then she asked me tell me about the three main work that NABARD does. I told first one is refinance, second one is supervising RRBs, and the third one I told them self-help group. Here I made my first blunder. I mean, I should have said agriculture and rural development, but during that pressure, these words did not come to my mind. Or rather, I could say that, sorry, ma'am, right now I'm not able to recall the third point. I mean, it could be answered in a better way, but anyway, I did that mistake. Then ma'am asked me, tell me various applications and websites that NABARD is using. So these were the questions that member 1 asked me. After that, member 2 started asking questions. Her first question was, what subjects I read in my BTech? I told them many subjects and one of them was software engineering. She asked me, tell me about different phases of software development. I told them and then she cross-questioned me. What do you mean by requirement analysis phase and significance of it? Then she asked me what are different software development model. I told them and one of them was waterfall model. So she cross-questioned me, what is waterfall model, what are the advantage and disadvantage of this model, and luckily I was able to give answer of all the questions that member 2 asked me. After that, member 3 started asking questions. His first question was how machine learning, artificial intelligence can be helpful for NABARD. While answering this, in one of the point, I mentioned that it could be helpful in automated compliance with Basel III norm. So he cross-questioned me, what is Basel III norm and what are the main three components of this Basel III. And I actually read about Basel III, but that time I was not able to recall. So I directly told him that, sorry sir, right now I'm not able to recall. but I know. Then I told some basic points about Basel 3. Then again he cross questioned me, what is NPA? And I was not very confident with the answer, but I told them what is NPA. But I think this Basel 3 and NPA things can be handled in a better way. Then he asked me about the budget announcement on artificial intelligence. I told them about setting center of excellence, and government of India allocated around 500 crore for this AI. Then he also asked me some one or two questions that right now I'm not able to recall. Overall, my interview was around 15 minutes. So after my interview, I went to the meeting room and I waited there for 15 to 20 minutes. Then one officer come. I thought that my review will happen now, but actually he was asking me to go for breakfast with him, and he was Bengali. He was very friendly, and we were doing our breakfast. And after doing our breakfast, I again come to the meeting room, and then I waited for around 1.5 hours. Then the HR come. He did my document verification, and the HR was again super friendly. He asked how my interview was, and I told him my experience. He told that don't worry, one or two questions won't matter. So after the document verification, I waited for around 2 hours, and it was very boring as I was the only person waiting in the meeting room. Then HR come with some of his colleagues and asked me for the lunch. Wow, I was like, is it real? Then I went with them for the lunch, and we were having lunch in the same table. So here was the senior HR, and here is one grade A officer, here is another grade A officer. He is also in HR department, but he is in supervisory department of NABARD. And during our conversation, HR mentioned that next year around 100 posts for specialist might come. Wow, that's good. And the best part was the food. The food was also like five-star hotel. There was basmati rice, dal, gobi sobji, chicken rezala, papad, chutney, nolen gure rasagolla. It was really awesome. After the lunch, the HR told me that they are cross verifying my document, and once they will send him green signal, I can go home. When I was seeing those officers, I can say they are very satisfied, they are very happy, friendly, and helpful, and they are working in a very cordial workspace. But I was not fortunate enough to work in such great place. Yes, friends, I could not make it to the final list. My interview went moderate except one or two questions, but I think it is due to phase 2 marks. It was not good enough to make me to the final list. Next year I will try again. Do like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.